Okay, what's going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is the last video for the day. Okay, y'all got me working today. Y'all got me working. But like I told you, I'm getting caught up. Like I said, I've done all of what I need to do in my personal life. But y'all not here to talk about me. We here to talk about Love Marriage Huntsville season 4, episode 5. So we pick up where we left off. And this is Kiki joining Tisha and is asking her, "Who are you talking to now about me?" And Tisha is like, I'm talking now. I understand where this is going because Kiki is literally trying to call her a hypocrite right now. But what Letitia is saying is, I'm not necessarily talking about you, which, if we're going to be technical, technically she is, but I am venting, decompressing, and talking about a situation that literally just happened. And for me, talking about somebody is you sitting here and you going off on tangents and you talking cash money about somebody. Because if she's just retelling the story the way that it happened, then I mean, I'm just retelling the story. Nevertheless, not going into all of that. Kiki feels that, well, Tisha, what she always does is run away. And Letitia said to her, look, this happened, I believe she said 5 years ago. We were on the phone. We discussed this in length for 3 hours. You said that we were moving on. I'm gonna get back to that because I'm gonna reiterate something that I previously said within these last other two reviews. And now here we are again, and you're bringing it back up. Now, Kiki is bringing it up because it's like you're mad at me for mentioning you in the conversation, but you did the same thing to me way back when. I think that she's still heard about it and they never dealt with it. But again, one thing that it seems that Letitia and her family does, and this happens with a lot of families where it's just like, we talked about it, we never dealt with it. People didn't take accountability. There was no resolution. We did not walk away with an understanding. It was just, okay, we talked about it. Okay, we're moving on. And because it's not dealt with, it's going to resurface. In essence, it was just swept under the rug, pretty much. That's all that happened. So of course it's going to come back up, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back up again. I really wouldn't. Anyway, Tisha apologizes, but it's the way she apologizes. Like, I apologize. It should have been like, you know what? I'm sorry. My bad. Da, da, da. But it was an attitude with it where it came off as kind of insincere and asked her not to speak on her when she isn't there, which is cool. Which is cool. Um, and I will say I do appreciate the fact that Letitia was able to clearly communicate in this particular scene. I do appreciate that. But I do feel that they haven't dealt with it and they need to deal with it so it does come back up. And I'm also one of those where, and Letitia even said, this isn't a we problem, this is a you problem because you're still holding on to it. But, and here's one thing that I will say, when you're dealing, like, in the midst of trying to deal with conflict, if what, like, at the very end of it, when the smoke settles and the dust clears, if what has, if the resolution that's on the table isn't what you need, do not, for the sake of trying to be the bigger person or whatever, accept the terms. Because what'll happen is, in that other person's mind, okay, well, we dealt with it, so it is what it is, we Gucci. When in reality, you still feel away. And that's what this is, where she wasn't happy with how they resolved it, and she still feels away. So she didn't get what she needed, and I'm pretty sure she still didn't get what she needed. And in the next episode, she got to talk to Auntie Wanda. So that, yeah, it just is what it is. They're not over it. Moving on, we got Martel and Marsau. So we have the book signing talk, and Marceau's whole thing is, man, it was about the kids. The kids should have been there. Man, it's about the kids. Shut up, Marceau. Then he says, Martel says that he's been communicating via email. Marcel's like, email. He's like, yeah, documentation, which I'll give you that. I will give you that. Where, because you know, sometimes when it comes to text messages and whatnot, you can fake text messages. It's hard to fake an email. It's hard to fake that. It really is. So that is his way of doing it. But at the same exact time, I mean, hey, you're not doing exactly what you need to be doing, how you need to be doing it. But again, trying to have this pity party. Martel wants to buy back into Scope. And Marceau says he will consult with Tisha um, because she is the majority owner, but pretty much says we can test this thing out with Melody's suites. Now, I don't remember exactly how Mel and Martel separated from Scope. I really don't remember, so y'all let me know in the comments whether Melody pushed him to do it or he just did it on his own. But from what we see later in the episode, it a lot of it had to deal with him spreading rumors about Marceau and Letitia's marriage and that playing a part. Whatever, y'all let me know. So we get Maurice and Kimmy talk. All that happens with this is Kimmy tells him about the phone conversation that she was on with Letitia when she was going at it with Kimmy. And Maurice is like, you know what? What's probably going to end up happening is Letitia and Kiki go end up having to talk this out with Wanda. And you already know Wanda going to be a hurricane. So now we get Destiny and Maurice. Destiny talks with Maurice to help her with her finances. And she said she pulled up her credit. And you see it on his face that probably wasn't great. And from what I've heard is when people divorce, people's credit does end up getting messed up. I don't know why. I don't know how. Haven't been married. Hopefully, if somebody knows, y'all can provide me with insight. But it doesn't seem like he finished going through all the documents. But then she says that she needs to refinance her house quickly and refinance it in her name because she doesn't want to disrupt and uproot her baby. Now, I'm just going to assume that she got the house in the divorce. But here's what I'm going to say. If you are already in a financial hardship, I understand that you don't want to uproot your children. But sometimes you just got to make a hard decision where it's like, because it would probably be better if you downsize as much as possible to something that you can afford so you wouldn't be in some situations. I'm just saying. Maurice encourages her to use her business space to bring in residual income. And she says, okay, well, that's what I'm trying to do with the suites. Even though you kind of clowned Marceau about it, but she did say Marceau is going to help me. And then they talk. Let me see. They talk about the whole finance thing, and she says that, well, I was on public assistance, and Maurice like the PPE. She was like, no, public assistance, public assistance. But again, I don't believe that she was fully on public assistance. Now, again, I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but they do ask you 1,001 questions about, your income, what your bills look like, are you renting, do you have to pay utilities, this, that, and the third. If you have rent or mortgage, you got provide documentation, all of that. You really have to. And then, of course, you're on this show. So, I I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm just saying I don't believe that she was. And if she was on public assistance, yeah, you probably gonna get hit and audited, baby. And if somebody who works in that particular department or whatnot sees you on the show, yeah. But anyway, and then they talk about her relationship with Mel because Maurice brings it up, and this is why I say Maurice. It looks like you looking real shysty, shady like because you sitting here kind of playing behind the scenes and whatnot. Because the reality is, you really didn't need to have this conversation with her, and if you wanted to, because you are having a business meeting with her, it should have been a completely different scene. Anyway, Maurice wants to know if she would be friends with Tisha given what she knows now, independent of what happened between Tisha and Mel. And she said that she would. And she's been going through, and the only person that she's been able to call on recently has been Tisha because she can't call her friend. Okay. All right. Moving forward, we get Tisha and Marsau. Tisha wants her mom to shadow Ed Black, because they're doing the whole loaded potatoes. I've seen some pictures. I ain't gonna touch it. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, okay, but but wants her to shadow so she can learn and whatnot because they don't want her to be a failure. Which is understandable. Now, is this going to be a mass undertaking? Yes. Is this going to stress Marceau out? Yes. But here's the other thing. if this is what you want, she could shadow you and how you run operations from your vantage point, Letitia. But moving on. Marsau brings up the whole Martel partnership. And Tisha gives him his flowers. Is like in the early stages, y'all were good. Things was going great. He was good at what he was doing. Wherever you were lacking, he was able to fill in the gaps and whatnot. But at this particular point in time, I don't know if I can trust him. Again, being able to articulate clearly and concisely what is going on. I'm just like, all right, another brownie point for Letitia. And Marceau brings up the whole sweets thing and saying, well, I told him at least we can do like a practice run, like test it out and see where this goes. She's cool with that. So now we get Melody and Destiny talking. So I'm going to say this right quick. Both of them are full of it. Both of them are full of it. I want to make sure that I say that. So I can see both sides, and I'm gonna just talk about it, and we just gonna leave it at that. So let's go. So Destiny says that she has heard things, and about Melody talking about her, and Melody was like, "I don't bring you up, and when you come up in conversation, I just give very vague answers, not necessarily the truth, because we've heard you talk about." Some of this in the last couple of like since the season started. Now, part of it is her telling the story of, hey, this happened, this happened, this happened. But you do add a little extra to it. So you can't say that you just give vague answers. Because when you talked with Kimmy, when y'all were doing the charcuterie board stuff, you went in length, you went into detail about what happened post reunion. Okay, so that was a lie. Destiny also says that a business venture fell through because the person that she knew, is friends with Melody. And that person said, because there's some stuff going on between you and Melody, I don't want that to overshadow the business. And Melody was just like, I never said anything to her to make her feel a way about you. I just said, blah, 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 blah. But it's one of those where you can say something without saying it to get a certain reaction out of people. And because what Mel could have just said is, go ahead, y'all make y'all money. You ain't got to worry about nothing. This ain't going to affect da 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 da. But you didn't say that. Because my thing is, again, if me and a friend fall out, and you cool and you doing business with one of my other friends, I'll be like, hey, get money, make money. You feel what I'm saying? Because even with this business venture, with your friend not doing it, kind of sort of might, unless it could be taking money out of her. Doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is, I would just be like, just go ahead and work. They ain't got nothing to do with me. They ain't got nothing to do with us, and nothing that's going on should affect what y'all got going on, right? Um, so Mels was talking about pulling away, and she was just like, when you were going through what you were going through, because this goes back to the whole Destiny saying that you know she hasn't. I forget the exact verbiage from the reunion. She hasn't heard from Melly, or she hasn't had any dealings or interaction with Melly since they wrapped the season. And Melly was just like, when you were going through what you were going through, you pulled away, you took time out for yourself, and I didn't feel a way about that. Now, I believe Melody is still hurt over the fact that she got a divorce and didn't tell her. So it's just like, you can pull away and go through what you're going through, and it's not an issue. But when I pull away, then that's an issue, and I understand that. I do. Where it's just like, sometimes you have to pull away. You do, for your own well being and all that good jazz. You have to. But because I want to make sure I don't like miss anything. And but Mel was like, but for you to say that I haven't, like, we weren't in communication, like, that is a lie. So then she pulls out her phone to go through the text messages, and you could see Destiny's face where it's just like, which I'm just like, okay, Destiny, well, you done got caught up. So she begins to, read off the text messages, and Mel's just like, but you said we haven't talked, and Des was like, yes, talked. So you can read the text message, but we haven't talked. Now we're doing semantics here because sending a text message and you actually hear my voice are two totally different things. But the way that Destiny, because I believe Carlos asked like, "What's going on with y'all?" and she was like, "Well, we haven't conversed." Like I forget the exact verbiage, but she never said we haven't talked. It's just there was no communication between the two of us. Now, had she said I haven't verbally talked to Mel since we rapped, then she would have been technically correct. In this particular instance, she hasn't. And as Mel is going through it, you have at one point she had said, "What you doing?" and the response was, "I'm chillaxing." And Desmond's like, "I don't say that. I don't text that." And Mel's just like, I'm not finna fake a thread now." But then within that same thread, there's a picture that she sent her of her feet saying, "I'm just chilling by the pool." And Dad's like, "Yeah, I sent you that." And Mel was just like, "So this is all in the same thread. So, ma'am, you did say this right here. I'm here for the receipts. I'm here for the receipts." Now, what I will say is, Destiny, you sending that picture about you kind of vacating, but you own public assistance. Like, if this is really a thing, like that doesn't look good for you, ma'am. I'm just saying, like. But anyway, um. Then Mel says she allowed her to run with a narrative and blatantly lie on the reunion stage. And she was like, "I could have pulled out these receipts, but I didn't." Now, here's what I'm going to say to you, Melody. First and foremost, well, you a damn fool. One. Two, you did this on purpose. Like, let's keep it 1,000. You did this on purpose because again, this is a show. People need to have their storylines somewhat, have an idea what their storyline is going to be. Because yes, you could have easily called her out and deaded that. No, you wanted to wait until y'all started shooting for season 4 to bring this up. Let's be clear. Like, let's keep it all the way 1,000. You knew what you were doing. Okay. Talking about I allowed you to run with a narrative. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to just well, in most instances, I'm not going to sit back and let somebody, trash me and put salt on my name. I'm already seasoned. I'm not. I don't need to be over seasoned. Okay, we don't need that. All right. So then Mel brings up that she knew what her problem was with Tisha, and at first I was just like, I don't know if she fully knew the depths of it. But then I believe it was the season finale for last season, even though wrong place, wrong time, it was discussed, if I'm not mistaken. So you do have an idea. Now, again, whether or not you knew the depths of it, don't know. Um, and then Mel brings. Okay, I'm sorry. Before I get to that, and Destiny keeps saying that you have a problem with me being friends with Letitia. Honestly, I don't think that's what it is. I think the issue is you talking about me to this person. And and again, you may not know the full depths of our issues, but there are problems there. And the fact that you are talking about me to this person and allowing that person to speak negatively about me to you, that is a problem. And I understand it because I have been friends with people that did not like each other. And I had to sit here, and it's one of the worst places to be stuck in the middle. But it would be one of those where I would not allow either party to. If one party was talking about the other one naked, because it's one thing to tell a story, it's another thing to sit here and talk mess. If that happened, I would ask, could you please not do that? Because I'm still cool with that person. Da, da, da. Now I can't make a grown person do anything, but what I can do is remove myself from the situation and let them continue to talk because that has nothing to do with me, and I'm not entertaining that. I think that is what Mel wanted: is you can be friends with this person. I just should not come up in conversation, right? Understandable. Completely understandable. So then Mel brings up Martel and says, she should have not dealt with him because of how he was doing her on social media. Now, I don't know how far back these relationships go, but from what I understand, she was friends with Martel first. So I'm sorry, you can't, like, I understand you would want for her to, girl code this and third, but she was friends with this person first. And what Martel does not impact her. Like, this is between y'all. You want me to sit here because the most she can do is say, "Hey, bro, you doing way too much. You doing too much." But it seems like Mel wants a whole lot, and I get the feeling that Mel is one of those people where I have a standard for you that I'm not going to live up to myself. That is how I feel. Do I have proof of that? No, but that's just how I feel. And Destiny mentions her aunts. So the whole conversation about what you heard at the reunion. So my aunt was in the room, but did you not hear my aunt? So you heard me and Letitia, but you didn't hear my aunt. And Mel's like, no, didn't hear her. So I don't know. But again, but this is one of those things where some of this you just gotta ask yourself whose side you gonna take because there is no footage, there is no proof. Now, with Mel bringing out the receipts, y'all were clearly conversing, and she was reaching out to you. So Destiny, you lied on that. But again, Mel, your hands ain't clean either. But that is all I got. I don't know what else to say. I'm not gonna let them run my blood pressure. No, I'm not. I do want to say that I do owe y'all several episodes of New Jersey. So either A, you'll get the episodes that I've missed either tomorrow or Tuesday, or I might just give it all to you on Wednesday. But you'll get I'll be caught up with that this week, right? So, and I have to try to get caught up because y'all know Housewives of Atlanta comes back, Beverly Hills comes back. I think there's one other show that comes back, so I need to try to get back in a rhythm and whatnot. And then the Whether You Like It or Not panel comes back on the 2nd of May, so I gotta be ready. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you all for some Jersey stuff. All right, y'all. Peace out.